Welcome to the channel, where today we uncover the chilling mystery and staggering truth behind a coin that defies all logic, a simple piece of metal from 1985 that may just be the most extraordinary $quarter the United States Mint has ever produced, and the deeper we go, the more it feels like we are unraveling a national secret buried beneath layers of error, coincidence, and obsession. What if a small mistake, invisible to the naked eye, created the most valuable coin ever struck in American history? And what if that mistake wasn't really a mistake at all but a consequence of something far more cryptic, intentional, or even conspiratorial, something that numismatists, historians, and collectors have debated for decades, something that begins innocently enough in the Denver Mint in the mid-1980s, a time when the U.S. economy was stabilizing after a turbulent decade. Inflation was taming down, and coin production had reached automated precision, or so we thought, because buried within the countless millions of 1985 quarter dollars that rolled off the minting presses was a microscopic anomaly, an imperfection so rare, so precise, and so confounding that when it was discovered years later, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic world, sparking bidding wars, scholarly debates, and feverish treasure hunts. As if people suddenly realized that one of the most common circulating coins might secretly harbor a handful of specimens worth more than luxury homes, and the story begins with a single collector at a small-town coin show who noticed something strange under magnification, an incomplete strike, a faint double die on Liberty's profile, a nearly invisible cut near the rim, and a weight discrepancy that didn't match the official mint specs. And what's more, this wasn't just a one-off fluke, because soon, others started finding eerily similar coins scattered across the country. Not in major auctions but tucked away in pocket change, old piggy banks, forgotten coin jars, and then came the discovery that changed everything, a 1985 quarter with a missing clad layer, struck on a nickel planchet, but with Denver Mint markings and a die alignment error so bizarre it couldn't have passed standard quality control unless someone inside the mint let it slide or failed to notice, and suddenly, rumors erupted. Did a rogue mint worker allow flawed planchets into the machine? Did a glitch in the press result in these quarters being struck with unmatched force, or was this the ghost of old minting machinery malfunctioning in a way no one anticipated? And as experts began digging into the archives, they unearthed a disturbing gap in Denver Mint production logs from April of 1985, where an entire batch of error reports had mysteriously vanished or were never filed, and that only fueled more speculation. Had these quarters been deliberately struck as test pieces using incorrect materials? Had someone covered up a mechanical error to protect their career? Or was this simply an accident that turned into a legend? But no matter the cause, collectors were hooked, and the market exploded as whispers of known surviving specimens multiplied, each one slightly different, some with broad strikes, others with off-center errors, a few with partial collars, and all bearing subtle die cracks, clashes, or double dies that made them unique yet connected by an invisible thread of shared imperfection, and it was in these imperfections that people found meaning, as if the coins themselves were whispering secrets from inside the vaults of history. And while the U.S. Mint issued no official statement acknowledging the anomaly, insiders claimed off the record that they had never seen such a perfect storm of minting mistakes converge in a single year on a single denomination in a single facility. And to make things even more surreal, retired Mint employees started coming forward anonymously, some recalling strange disruptions during production, others alluding to unexplainable orders to destroy entire batches without inspection, and one even mentioned a supervisor who disappeared after raising concerns about quarter inconsistencies, and all this while collectors worldwide were now reverse engineering their own grading criteria just to distinguish between common 1985 quarters and the elite anomalies that could fetch tens or even hundreds of thousands depending on error type and provenance. And then came the auction that shattered expectations. A 1985 quarter, seemingly normal at first glance but upon analysis was found to have been struck on an experimental planchet composed of an alloy mix never before recorded in mint records, a coin that weighed just a fraction off standard yet bore nowhere, no signs of tampering, and had an obverse reverse misalignment so uncanny that auctioneers halted bidding mid-session to re-authenticate it, only to confirm it was real, undocumented, and now suddenly the centerpiece of a bidding war that ended with a jaw-dropping final price north of six figures, and with that, the 1985 quarter crossed into legend, as collectors, conspiracy theorists, and historians alike began calling it the Franken quarter, theorizing that the anomalies weren't just production errors but possibly a clandestine experiment, perhaps involving leftover blanks from discontinued coins, or even foreign planchets accidentally introduced during equipment retooling, and the further you chase this rabbit hole, the stranger it gets, with reports of 1985 quarters found with properties resembling Canadian alloy compositions, or bearing spectral underlayers suggesting transitional metal usage, and metallurgists who tested these coins independently were stunned, calling them metallurgical ghosts that defy classification, and all the while, collectors are still uncovering new variations, like one found in a Virginia flea market that bore an unexplained reverse die gouge shaped like a lightning bolt, or another in California that rang at an unusual frequency when dropped, prompting acoustic engineers to study its harmonic properties, and every new find adds fuel to a fire that refuses to die, with online communities dedicating entire threads to plotting the locations, characteristics, and timelines of known anomalies, forming digital maps of a mystery that spans decades and states, while even seasoned coin dealers are caught off guard, selling misidentified 1985 quarters for pennies on the dollar only to see them reappear at major auctions with error certifications and five-figure appraisals, and the numismatic world is now in a frenzy, with experts debating whether these errors are the result of rare die combinations, misaligned presses, overlooked test strikes, or unauthorized planchet mixes, while others wonder if this coin's rise to fame was inevitable, a perfect storm of timing, obsession, and mystery converging on a denomination most Americans barely glance at, and still the questions remain: how many of these 1985 quarters are out there? Who first noticed the error? Why did the mint remain silent? And what if, just what if, the rarest of them all hasn't even been found yet, a single specimen that combines every known error into one impossible coin, hiding right now in an old drawer, a forgotten roll, or the bottom of a changed jar waiting to be discovered, waiting to rewrite the rules of numismatics once and for all? So if you've ever doubted that a small mistake can change history, or that a simple coin can carry the weight of a national mystery, look no further than the 1985 quarter, and remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned because this story is far from over and the next twist might be hiding in your very own pocket. Next, 1979 quarter dollars, where the ordinary becomes extraordinary and forgotten coins become legends worth fortunes. Now, imagine a single, small mistake at the Denver Mint in 1979 turning a common quarter into a coin that could change a collector's life forever, raising the question: what if this unassuming 1979 quarter dollar, often dismissed as pocket change, actually hides one of the most significant and costly minting errors in American history, making it a once-in-a-lifetime treasure waiting to be discovered in your very own coin jar? The suspense begins deep within the bustling corridors of the Denver Mint during the late 1970s, a time when coin production was running at full tilt, pressure mounting to meet circulation demands, and under the strain of this industrial speed, critical mistakes slipped through unnoticed, errors so rare and bizarre they would take decades to surface in the numismatic community, creating a firestorm of fascination, speculation, and obsession. This isn't just a story of a quarter, it's the unfolding of a multi-layered mystery that links minting flaws, government oversight, hidden misprints, and accidental double strikes to the sudden rise of a coin variant whose value now challenges the limits of what collectors believed was possible from a post-1965 clad coin, and it all starts with an unusual surface texture, a misplaced mint mark, or an unexpected die clash that shouldn't exist at all according to official records, sparking theories that range from over-polished dies to rogue mint workers and even secret test strikes intended for non-circulation prototypes. Some experts believe a small batch of 1979 quarters may have been struck on planchets meant for silver coins, despite silver being officially removed from circulation years earlier, suggesting either a covert internal experiment or the reuse of outdated blanks. And if true, these anomalies would make the coin a forbidden relic of an era gone by. But what if the mystery goes deeper? If the peculiarities in these quarters point not just to minting anomalies but to intentional manipulation, perhaps even sabotage, as whispers from retired mint employees hint at unexplained boxes of coins quietly destroyed or removed from inventory, never to be spoken of again, with one such box possibly containing a rare breed of 1979 quarters showing dramatic off-center strikes, double die reverses, or reverse planchet brockage with mirror-like fields. Yet official records remain silent on these, creating a paradox that fuels the obsessive quest of hunters who travel city to city, pouring through estate sales, garage bins, and forgotten rolls of change in search of the myth made real. Some of these relentless collectors have turned up quarters bearing ghostly images of overlapping features, such as the faint shadow of another denomination or the unexpected doubling of the eagle's wing, baffling graders and causing rifts in online forums where debates rage about authenticity, shadow errors, and unexplained weight discrepancies, with one documented case of a 1979 D quarter weighing slightly more than standard that sold quietly in a private auction for a rumored $35,000, but the true nature of that coin remains under wraps due to a non-disclosure agreement that only adds to the layers of secrecy and suspicion, making many wonder if the government itself is trying to erase traces of a minting misstep too large to admit publicly, and as collectors and numismatic sleuths continue piecing together clues from die rotations, edge reading irregularities, and unexpected luster patterns, the coin's legend grows. Stories emerge of one found in an old military footlocker, another discovered behind drywall during a house renovation, and yet another claimed to have been passed unknowingly as change at a Nevada casino decades ago, launching a treasure hunt across the western United States that continues to this day. But perhaps most chilling are the tales of coins sent to grading services only to mysteriously vanish or be returned labeled authentic but altered, igniting theories of internal censorship or covert confiscation by authorities seeking to prevent a numismatic scandal from spilling into the headlines, and the intrigue compounds when a former U.S. Mint quality inspector anonymously reveals in an interview that there were indeed unreported die varieties in 1979 D coinage, citing internal memos and discarded prototypes that featured misaligned dies with barely perceptible modifications, hints of a transitional design phase that was quickly scrapped and buried beneath bureaucracy, possibly due to a legal or economic conflict that no one dares acknowledge officially, leaving behind only ghost coins and rumors passed among elite collectors who refuse to disclose their sources or sale prices, yet their sudden disappearance from public view, combined with encrypted photos leaked to specialized coin forums, suggest that several examples of the mythical ghost strike 1979 D quarter do exist and are now tucked away in high-security vaults in private collections, occasionally teased in high-end auctions but never allowed to surface fully, prompting the question, what are they hiding, and why is this coin, of all coins, being suppressed? The mystery continues with the involvement of third-party grading companies who, over the years, have issued conflicting assessments for similar coins, one deemed a standard strike while another, nearly identical in appearance, was graded MS-68 and declared a unique mint error, creating a rift in the expert community and prompting some collectors to conduct forensic-level analyses using electron microscopes, chemical composition scans, and high-speed photography to determine whether these coins were struck under different temperature conditions or with non-standard blanks, revealing shocking inconsistencies in metallic content that cannot be explained by normal wear or toning, and further inflaming suspicions that something went terribly wrong, or incredibly right, during the Denver Mint's 1979 production year. A year that might go down in numismatic lore as the single most misunderstood yet consequential in modern American coinage, and as more collectors join the hunt, searching through pocket change, forgotten bankrolls, and dusty coin albums inherited from grandparents, each coin examined adds another potential clue or fuels another conspiracy theory, from secret commemorative designs never officially released to mysterious markings that only appear under black light, leading to feverish speculation that the 1979 D quarter may be part of a covert Cold War signal, a trial piece for unknown designs, or even the accidental result of mixing commemorative and circulation dies during late-night shift chaos. The truth may still be out there, hidden in plain sight, and as the numismatic world holds its breath for the next discovery, perhaps a coin buried in a time capsule, tucked in a forgotten bank deposit box, or sitting right now in a change jar on someone's kitchen counter, the legend of the 1979 D quarter only deepens, growing into a symbol of the endless possibility that surrounds even the most overlooked everyday object. And if you're watching this, consider yourself part of that quest, part of the secret circle who knows that history often hides in plain sight, and that the next $1 million mistake could be resting right in your pocket. So stay curious, stay vigilant, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the next unbelievable discovery could be yours. Next 1966 quarter, where today's tale plunges you into a mystery so gripping, so saturated with drama, intrigue, and unanswered questions, that it may very well alter the way you look at coins forever, because what if a small, overlooked mistake in 1966, a year burdened with the weight of political upheaval and global tension, led to the creation of the most valuable quarter dollar ever struck in U.S. history? What if buried beneath decades of dusty drawers, mislabeled boxes, forgotten pockets, and long-shuttered bank vaults lies a coin that defies logic and expectation, a 1966 quarter whose extraordinary rarity, born from minting errors and shrouded in bureaucratic mystery, has ignited a numismatic fever few have dared to confront head-on? To understand the shocking gravity of what we're about to explore, we must begin with the historical context. The United States in 1966 was in the throes of post-silver transition chaos, just 1 year after silver was removed from circulating quarters, and the U.S. Mint was overwhelmed, under pressure, and desperate to avoid another public panic like the one they saw in 1964 when coin hoarding became a national obsession. What followed in '66 was the suspension of mint marks to discourage collecting, but ironically, that very suppression may have paved the way for one of the rarest minting disasters ever recorded, a mistake so subtle yet so catastrophic in its implications that few experts can even agree on how it happened, let alone how many examples may still exist in the wild. Imagine a planchet meant for a different denomination, perhaps even one composed of silver, slipping past inspection and being fed into presses designated for clad quarters, creating a hybrid anomaly. Undetectable to the naked eye unless tested for weight or metal composition, and then imagine that this phantom coin, this whispered legend, was never supposed to exist and thus never catalogued, never admitted by the mint, a mistake so rare that its very acknowledgement could trigger embarrassment at the highest levels of numismatic authority. And now picture this: over the decades, faint whispers begin to surface, of collectors stumbling upon quarters from 1966 that just feel wrong, too heavy, too smooth, oddly toned, bearing faint traces of designs not native to that year, double strikes that shouldn't be possible, off-center misalignments that betray a hidden production flaw, or worst of all, an unintentional reintroduction of a mint mark that was never supposed to be there. With one chilling story involving a veteran coin dealer from Ohio who claimed he purchased a roll of quarters from a flea market only to discover what he believed to be a 1966 D quarter, something officially impossible since no mint marks were issued that year, yet he swore under oath that it was authentic, submitted it for third-party grading, and the coin promptly vanished during shipping under circumstances so bizarre that conspiracy theories began to swirl about deliberate interception. While another tale tells of a collector in California who owned a 1966 quarter that tested positive for silver content in a laboratory, a discovery dismissed by skeptics until multiple independent tests confirmed it, leading to rampant speculation that a few leftover silver planchets from 1964 to '65 somehow got pressed in the 1966 cycle during the chaotic transition. How many could exist, and why haven't more surfaced? But the answers remain elusive, driving collectors into a frenzy of sorting, weighing, and inspecting every 1966 quarter they encounter, hoping they might be holding a piece of hidden history, a rogue artifact born of mechanical oversight and institutional silence. And it's not just about mint errors either, because some theories suggest entire batches of experimental coins may have been produced quietly, behind closed doors, as part of material testing at the mint, and those tests may have slipped into circulation unnoticed. And if that's true, then the 1966 quarter isn't just a curiosity, it's a clue to a much deeper mystery involving the very foundations of U.S. coinage policy during a tumultuous financial era. Adding even more fuel to the fire are the collectors who claim to have found reeded-edge variations inconsistent with the standard quarter specifications of the time, suggesting machine mismatches or die swaps that occurred during the night shift at facilities like the Denver Mint, even though Denver wasn't officially minting quarters with a mark in '66, and yet these oddities persist, quietly selling in private circles for tens of thousands of dollars. Their origins debated endlessly across forums, auction houses, and secretive numismatic gatherings, where whispered names and blurry photos hint at the existence of coins that defy every rule in the book. And let's not forget the mysterious appearance of a 1966 quarter with a double die obverse, a feature previously undocumented and now considered one of the most valuable strike anomalies of the post-silver era, raising the question: Was this the product of careless die creation or an intentional strike created by a rogue mint employee as a sort of calling card to future collectors, and if intentional, who was this person, and how many other secrets did they embed in the coinage of the 1960s? These possibilities deepen the enigma, as retired mint employees have hinted at experiments, prototype tests, and internal cover-ups that were never made public, fueling speculation that the 1966 quarter is far more than a standard piece of change. It is a time capsule of covert decisions, unrecorded experiments, and perhaps even suppressed truth, and as more collectors open old drawers, revisit long-ignored coin jars, and unroll bank-wrapped stacks from forgotten safes, the discoveries grow increasingly bizarre, including one individual who claims to have found a 1966 quarter embedded inside a sealed 1965 mint set, an arrangement that should be impossible if protocol was followed, suggesting that at some point, rules were broken, coins were swapped, or errors were knowingly buried deep within official packaging, and each new revelation adds another thread to this tangled web of minting madness, government silence, collector obsession, and the unrelenting hope that somewhere out there lies a 1966 quarter worth not just thousands or tens of thousands but potentially millions of dollars, not just because of its physical properties, but because of what it represents, a confluence of historical chaos, bureaucratic missteps, and the rarest form of human error, one that leaves behind a physical trace so subtle it requires both scientific precision and instinctive gut feeling to detect. And when such a coin is found, it transcends its metallic form and becomes a symbol, a legend, a grail sought after by those who believe that even in something as mundane as spare change, there lies the potential for life-altering discovery, and so the hunt continues, with metal detectors sweeping beaches, magnifying glasses combing pocket change, and late-night eBay bids skyrocketing for coins bearing the date 1966, because no one knows when or where the next authentic anomaly will appear. And as long as the mint refuses to fully open its records from that era, as long as the official silence continues and the mysteries remain unsolved, this coin will continue to captivate the imaginations of treasure seekers around the world, fueling a narrative of suspense, drama, and the thrilling possibility that the rarest, most valuable coin ever struck by accident is still out there, waiting to be found by someone like you. So keep your eyes sharp, your change jar close, and your curiosity alive, because the story of the 1966 quarter is far from over, and you just might be holding $1 million mystery in the palm of your hand. And if you found this journey fascinating, make sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time as we continue to unravel the hidden histories and jaw-dropping secrets of the coins you thought you knew. Next 1968 quarter, what if I told you that one seemingly ordinary coin, a 1968 quarter dollar from the United States, possibly hiding in plain sight within your very own pocket change, could in fact be the key to one of the greatest numismatic mysteries of all time? A coin whose staggering value is driven not by gold or silver but by the unimaginable consequences of a microscopic minting mistake, a government oversight, and a trail of anomalies so bizarre they seem ripped from the pages of a treasure hunter's diary rather than the records of the U.S. Mint. And what if this small metallic disc, just 5.67 grams of copper and nickel, was the product of a perfect storm of forgotten dies, misplaced mint marks, altered metal compositions, and clandestine errors never meant to leave the factory floor, yet somehow did, slipping into circulation under the radar of even the strictest quality control, unleashing a wave of questions, controversies, and collector chaos that has only grown more intense with each passing decade, as numismatists and conspiracy theorists alike comb flea markets, estate sales, and ancient bank vaults in search of this elusive piece of American history whose very existence challenges everything we thought we knew about coin production in the late 1960s, a time when the nation was reeling from political upheaval, economic shifts, and a frenzied effort to phase silver out of everyday coinage, opening the door to hurried decisions, mismatched dies, unverified strikes, and human errors swept beneath bureaucratic rugs. And yet it is precisely this chaos that gave birth to what some now believe could be one of the rarest and most valuable quarters ever struck, a 1968 quarter with characteristics so strange, like missing mint marks from the San Francisco proofs, or demarked coins exhibiting San Francisco die traits, or coins with double strikes, off-metal compositions, or dramatically off-center portraits, that each one discovered only deepens the mystery. and multiplies the theories, from whispered claims of internal sabotage at the mint to the far-fetched yet chilling possibility that rogue employees might have intentionally struck and smuggled out these errors, creating a secret class of coins unknown to the official mint records, coins that continue to surface unexpectedly in private collections, dusty attics, and abandoned safe deposit boxes. Each new specimen throwing fuel on the fire of speculation and skyrocketing in value at auctions. Where anxious bidders battle for a piece of what many now call the ghost issue of the numismatic world, and still, the mystery lingers. Why do some 1968 quarters lack mint marks when all circulation coins should have them, and why do others appear with phantom errors that defy minting logic, like double dies without the corresponding tooling records, or planchets that appear to have originated from outdated silver stocks long after silver was supposedly purged from general issue coins, and could it be that during this era of aggressive coinage transition, with deadlines looming and pressure mounting, the mint resorted to using obsolete or incorrect blanks, or even repurposed discarded materials in a scramble to meet quotas, unknowingly releasing a handful of coins that would later be hunted like holy relics? And what of the theories suggesting that a secret cache of unissued 1968 experimental quarters was somehow lost or stolen, only for pieces to trickle out decades later into private hands, authenticated but unexplainable, sparking bidding wars that saw humble quarters fetch tens of thousands or even more depending on their provenance, condition, and the error type, while leading experts in the field admit that many of these anomalies simply do not match the documented mint processes of the time, leading to speculation that there might be a hidden vault of lost records, or even a cover-up, buried within the depths of U.S. Mint archives, locked behind red tape and bureaucratic silence. And what if someone out there holds a coin so rare and misunderstood that its mere appraisal could shake the foundations of numismatic history, a coin whose reverse side tells a slightly different story, with a misaligned eagle, a missing feather detail, or an unexplained texture only visible under microscopic analysis? And if all of this sounds like something out of fiction, just ask the collectors who've mortgaged homes and crossed continents chasing whispers of these phantom quarters, driven not only by value but by the thrill of unlocking a mystery that refuses to die. And as we trace the shocking journey of the 1968 quarter through the historical backdrop of a post-silver monetary system, through the meticulous research of obsessive collectors, and into the heated debates of coin grading forums where legends are born and reputations are made or broken, we uncover not just a fascinating story about a coin, but about human error, forgotten history, and the insatiable desire to hold in your hand something that was never meant to exist, a piece of metal that somehow escaped the machinery of oversight and emerged as a tangible symbol of chance, chaos, and the enduring appeal of the hunt. And as more and more of these coins are discovered, each with their own unique traits, like the rare double die obverse variant where Washington's profile seems to flicker like a ghostly echo, or the off-metal strikes that suggest leftover planchets from prior years, or other denominations entirely, the questions multiply, as do the values, with whispers of certain pieces commanding upward of 6 figures when authenticated by top grading authorities who themselves admit that no two examples are truly alike. And isn't that part of what makes this story so irresistible, that in a world governed by machines and precision, a single slip of metal, a tiny variation in strike pressure, a mismatched die, or a missing mint mark can create something worth more than gold? Something people will spend lifetimes searching for, something that keeps collectors awake at night wondering if the next quarter they pull from circulation might just be the one, and maybe, just maybe, it's sitting unnoticed in a drawer, waiting for the right eyes to find it, analyze it, and expose the truth hidden within its layers, a truth not even the U.S. Mint may fully understand or acknowledge, making the 1968 quarter not just a coin, but a question, a challenge, a riddle wrapped in nickel and copper, daring us to look closer, dig deeper, and believe that sometimes, the smallest things can hold the greatest mysteries. And if that mystery has you hooked, if you feel the pull of curiosity, the thrill of uncovering the unknown, and the excitement of being part of a modern treasure hunt that's still unfolding, then you're in the right place. Because this channel is dedicated to revealing the secrets that coins like the 1968 quarter are still trying to tell, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a chance to discover the next unbelievable story hiding in plain sight. Next, 1984, D quarter, where today we unlock a mystery so rare, so astonishing, so steeped in speculation and numismatic folklore that it forces us to ask the question, what if a tiny, seemingly insignificant minting mistake turned an ordinary pocket change coin into one of the most valuable and sought-after artifacts in American history? What if the 1984 D-quarter, a coin you might have unknowingly spent on a vending machine soda, held within its ridged edge a tale of government missteps, collector frenzy, and million-dollar treasure hunts that would leave even the most skeptical coin experts utterly speechless? As we plunge into this unfolding narrative, the veil begins to lift on a coin born during a decade of transition, experimentation, and overlooked chaos at the Denver Mint, where machines misfired, quality checks were rushed, and employees unaware of the historical weight of their actions may have unleashed a silent storm upon the world of coin collecting. Some say it was a die alignment error so precise it could never be replicated, others whisper of a rare off-metal strike, where a 1984 D-quarter was accidentally stamped on a foreign planchet or even a silver disc left over from a forgotten experiment. Imagine a silver quarter dated 1984 with a D-mint mark, defying everything known about post-1964 U.S. coinage policy, slipping through the cracks of mint oversight, and making its way into circulation. But the story doesn't end there. What truly elevates the 1984 D-quarter into the realm of myth is the tangled web of rumors, auction drama, and whispered trades between shadowy collectors who claim to have handled a specimen so perfect, so flawed, so unexplainably wrong that it has never again surfaced publicly. What if the U.S. Mint itself is sitting on sealed records, internal audits, or hushed investigations confirming the accidental release of a few such coins during a maintenance shift gone awry, when miscommunication led to the wrong dies being paired with mismatched planchets, resulting in quarters with double dies, missing clad layers, reversed mint marks, or ghostly images beneath the surface? Errors that should never have escaped, yet somehow did. And what if just one of these was placed in a test roll for circulation without fanfare, its fate left to chance and the passing of hands until it landed with someone who knew its worth, guarded it, and vanished from the public, fueling years of speculation, counterfeit attempts, and endless debates in coin conventions and online forums? What if this mystery coin holds a mint mark that slightly drifts into the field, its D punched too high or slightly tilted, suggestive of a repunched mint mark or an experimental die test that was never meant to be mass-produced? Some theories go even deeper, hinting at insider leaks, rogue employees who smuggled test strikes out of the mint, or boxes of error coins accidentally sold as scrap and melted, forever burying evidence of their existence except for the rare survivor that collectors feverishly seek, each story building the legend of the 1984 D-quarter further, making it more than a coin. It becomes a cipher, a relic of bureaucratic silence and accidental legacy. Even more chilling are the cases of collectors claiming to have seen or held a coin with striking features that defy logic, mirrored fields on both sides as if struck from proof dies, yet bearing circulation wear, a visible S underneath the D as if struck with a San Francisco die that had been overpunched, or striations indicating a struck-through grease error that left half of Washington's face melting into the background. A ghost coin hiding in plain sight. With every retelling, the mystery deepens. Was this an unintentional blend of proof and circulation technologies, or was someone at the Denver Mint conducting unauthorized strike tests, curious to see what errors could occur when boundaries were pushed and controls were lax? As auction houses report soaring prices for 1984 D-quarters with even the faintest anomaly, and as stories emerge of private offers in the six-figure range being quietly refused, the community grows more obsessed, combing through coin rolls, dissecting minor details under microscopes, seeking not just a valuable error but the coin, that may bridge the line between reality and legend. Could the 1984 D-quarter actually be a leftover relic of a long-forgotten bicentennial plan, a trial piece from an aborted redesign initiative that was shelved but accidentally struck anyway, only for a handful of examples to slip into the public stream unnoticed? Could it hold clues to a larger mint conspiracy, where production irregularities were swept under the rug and dismissed as statistical noise, even while they created a hidden class of ultra-rarities that make the 1913 Liberty Head nickel seem common by comparison? In the ever-expanding universe of American coinage, where history, metal, and myth collide, no mystery shines brighter, burns longer, or grips the imagination harder than that of the elusive, enigmatic, and possibly priceless 1984 D-quarter, a coin that continues to taunt collectors, baffle experts, and rewrite the rules of what makes a coin not just rare, but legendary. So keep watching. Because every second reveals a new layer of this astonishing saga, and somewhere out there, perhaps in a forgotten drawer or your own spare change jar, the next chapter of this numismatic thriller might be waiting to be discovered. So like this video if you're gripped by the chase, subscribe to follow every twist in the tale, and remember, history isn't always buried, sometimes it jingles in your pocket.